and clicking and clicking,
No,
clicking, clicking,
with that
clicking.
great strength comes great responsibility. AP,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
did you know that?
I have no. I don't
You
know.
can't have
No,
that great strength with. Hey, check this out. Before
I
I
abuse
forget,
strength when I have it. That's what I do. I
before
love
I
it.
forget, check this out.
What is that?
It's a camel. You don't know what a camel is? You've never seen a camel before?
I've never seen a camel before.
Hey, the
What?
camel's going to AP's. No, my wife was clearing out old boxes that we've had that have just been like sitting around forever and stuff like that, and like in like a garage and stuff. And this was sitting out. This was sitting on the shelf, and I was like, "Hey, that was the camel that Nabil got for me in Pakistan."
Really?
Yes, when he was still a Muslim. This would have been like 2002 or something like that, 2002 maybe. But yeah, so this is after 9/11, and a lot of my jokes at him back in the day would have something to do with a camel. Like almost every joke had something to do with a camel. And then so he went to Pakistan for a trip, and then brought me back this camel. But it was interesting. He came back and he said that when he got to the airport in Pakistan, he was coming out, and he said some guys approached him and they offered him, I forget exactly what it was, but he said it's the equivalent of like $15,000 to $20,000 just for his passport. Said, hey, look, give us your passport. We're going to give you a pile of money. Give us your passport. Don't report it missing for a few days. That's it. Deal. He didn't do it, but that's the deal they wanted to make. Give them his passport for a few days, and then report it missing, and they would give him a pile of money for that. And I'm guessing, because these are the days of Al Qaeda, but I'm guessing they're just looking for people who are entering the airport, going, "Oh, he kind of looks like so and so." That way, so and so could actually use that passport to get where he's needing to go. So let's ask him for his passport. Creepy stuff.
That is funny, man.
All right, so what are we talking about? We're talking about Ali Dawah. The gift.
That is wait, but that is a very interesting method. You have just revealed something. We can't just move on to the next. No, anyway, let's move on. But that's very. I think I'm going to start applying that. I'm going to start trying to buy people's passports. I don't know, but anyway, let's move on to Ali Dawa.
Ali Dawah. Man, we keep talking. For years, I've been calling these guys gold mines. Do you want to destroy a gold mine? No. You want that gold mine to keep producing nuggets of pure gold. And that's what we get from Ali Dawah. That's what we get from Muhammad Hijab. That's what we get from Sheikh Uthman. That's what we get from Daniel Hakikachu. That's what we're going to get from Andrew Tate and Sneeko and all of these guys. Gold mines. Absolute gold mines. So,
Absolute gold mine. Yeah.
because that's a gold mine, yeah. So, hey,
You
Pete.
just mentioned Nabil, and everyone's saying like "rest in peace, Nabil, loved," and so on. This reminds me of when we were driving together. You started telling me a story about Nabil and a song, um, uh, which was very, very interesting. A song came on, and I think you started telling a story about how Nabil reacted to this song or something like that. And then that was a very interesting, very sentimental, very emotional moment. And then you started crying like,
Yeah. I remember that. I remember the
yeah,
crying part.
yeah.
No, so what you're referring to is got Rich Mullins. Yeah. You and me listened to this Rich Mullins song. There's more that rises in the morning than the sun. We listened to that song. But I told you that one of the last times I was hanging out with Nabil, we're driving down the highway and we're playing that song's playing, and we're both singing the song. But I mean, he's got, stage 4 cancer and stuff like that. And then it's about, well, anyway, it's a cool song. Those of you who've heard it. So if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you'll pull me through. Right. And we're singing that, like just blasting as we're driving down the highway. And I was like, gosh, I should be recording this, man. I should be recording. I should be recording us singing this song about trusting God no matter what. But then I was like, to kind of ruin it if I pull out a camera right now, so I'll just let it slide. But yeah, don't know what to do in those situations where you're a content creator, you want to record, but it kind of screws things up. You're all, hey, something's happening. Let me pull out the camera here. So
Yeah.
wild stuff.
Anyway, you told the story on camera to me, and I'm still supposed to publish that one day. Maybe
Yeah, you started, and then AP cried for like 3 hours straight after hearing this powerful story, and then he said he finally gets the deep meaning of the song. So we're
I
talking.
didn't even pay attention to the song, but yeah, I guess.
So we're talking about our good friend Ali Dawah, one of the goats. You keep wondering who's going to do the most to destroy Islam, and Ali Dawah doesn't seem like he has the mental tools to be the best at destroying Islam. But then he does something. He's got the popularity. So that every dumb thought that pops into his head, he can just jump in with it, and that's pretty cool. So
and he also has a certain appeal. Mohammed Hijab said that Ali Dawah appeals to the younger people, to kids and stuff like that. So
I wonder why that is. Like lots of things, I get it, but if I didn't know what the actual case was, and I said, okay, here's Muhammad Hijab and him thumping on his chest, me strong than you, me so strong, me strong than you. And then you've got beside him this little pipsqueak going, oh, because I got we proud of that, right? And you said, which one of these guys is going to be most popular? I said, oh, Muhammad Hijab by far. But Ali Dawah was actually seems to be more popular. And so it's, I don't know, one of life's great mysteries.
Yeah.
All right. So you'll recall, because we did a live stream on your show when Ali Dawah admitted that the scientific miracles argument has been debunked, and he called it, much to the dismay of many of his viewers, he said that he called it absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
He called the argument absolute nonsense, right? Let's what's
he said the scientific miracles narrative is absolute nonsense. Not all of it, but it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, let's go ahead and review that clip because it's short. I mean, it's from a longer video, but there's an actual short clip where he says these things. So, because ladies and gentlemen, we already went through that other video. We'll show a short clip from it, but then he posted a new video, which we discussed on Thaddeus's stream. But I realized afterwards I wanted to talk about this a bit more because there is some very interesting stuff in Ali's new video where he doubles down, insisting that the scientific argument has been destroyed. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the original.
He published this new video because of you and me, so in reaction to us, because we talked about it and others did too, and he mentions us in that new video too. But yeah.
So he had to expose us. He had to expose us. Yeah. All right. Let's see the original clip here.
Look, it might be that Andrew Tate came to Islam for the wrong reasons.
Oh, he came to Islam for the wrong reasons,
but he may be staying in Islam for the right reasons. How? One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense, not total.
He's going to say not total, and he's going to explain in his new video what he means by that. But it's weird to go from absolute nonsense to not total. Wait, what? Do you know what absolute means? Do you know what absolute nonsense would be? Not total. But then he goes back to saying that it's been completely debunked. Let me back up just so when he says not totally, he's trying to cover his tracks because he knows his fans are going to flip out.
That this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense, not in total. But guess what? Allah led me to Islam. One of the reasons was because of the scientific miracles. And guess what? Did I leave Islam when this whole scientific miracle thing got debunked? No, I stayed because I grew in faith. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran to the Bedouins. Don't say you have believed, but rather say you have submitted. They will.
This is interesting, by the way, that he says Allah used scientific miracles arguments, which he now believes are absolute nonsense, and they've been debunked. But Allah used complete deception to guide him to Islam.
That's what Allah does.
So
that's what Allah presented us.
Allah, we can point out all the time, hey, you've got a God who brags about being the best of deceivers. No, it's best of planners. It's like the word means deception, the best of those who do deception. But that's not what it means. But then they clearly have absorbed the idea that Allah gets a lot of what he does done through deceiving everyone. Interesting.
Bedouin Arabs, and Allah says, because Iman hasn't entered your heart. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? It says, the Bedouins say, we have believed. Say, you have not yet believed, but rather say, we have submitted. For faith has not entered your hearts. If you obey Allah and His Messenger, He will not deprive you from your deeds of anything. So, which is very clear, meaning faith hasn't come into your heart yet. So every Muslim.
This is all weird. This is all in response to Andrew Tate having some of the dumbest reasons that anyone's ever. I mean, to be fair, they're not quite as bad as Sneakos, but they're still really, really bad. And in response to that, he's saying, yeah, but that's no problem because Allah tricked me into, Allah duped me into converting and I'm going to stay. So Andrew Tate, even though you've been duped into converting based on complete nonsense, you'll definitely want to stay. And the same would go for a Sneako. It looks like he's actually, you know what it is? It looks like he's preparing the ground for this wave of Muslim converts, this wave of Muslims who converted over the past 20 years on these completely ridiculous reasons that are all now being destroyed. It looks like he's trying to like prepare the ground for all these guys going, wait a minute, everything you told us, all this perfect preservation stuff, the scientific miracles, the mathematical marvels, all this stuff is being completely destroyed. Why am I a Muslim? It looks like he's like preparing for that by, oh yes, of course, we all come to Islam for these stupid reasons that are not true, but then we stay in Islam for the eternity of deflowering virgins. Does it seem like that?
You know what this reminds me of? What this makes me, it makes me think that Andrew Tate might be the earthly or the overworldly manifestation of Allah, because Allah does that whole thing. He calls himself God, he calls himself the creator, and then he does all of these weird things, and he promises like virgins for all the guys who do good stuff, and he's like, hey, if you work hard you will get all the girls, and you will bang all of them, and he also deceives people and calls himself the greatest of deceivers, lures people into Islam. And that reminds me of Andrew Tate, who also promises people all kinds of women that they can use just for their own pleasure, and he calls himself God, and he also has a great history of luring people into his business, into his sphere, by lying to them and deceiving them. And similarly, Ali Dawah just admits that Allah deceived him into Islam. So there is a pattern here, there is a theme here, and I feel like it is very complex and very interesting.
Yeah, Ali could say that, right? He's like, yo, Andrew Tate, so yeah, you came in for some lies and deception and you converted to Islam, but no problem, because that's how your cam girls was becoming cam girls according to you. It had to be the deception, but then once they got in there, then they was like, oh, with it, right? So that's just like Islam, yeah? It's just like a big webcam business, something like that. Hey, check this out. Said, someone here says, Sneako just did a podcast with a Muslim you both debated. I guess he's talking about Sheikh Uthman. You didn't debate Sheikh Uthman, did you?
I didn't debate him.
Yeah.
He called me out. I said, if you want to have a debate, let's have a moderated debate. And he said, I'm not a debater. Come to park.
Okay, and he brought you guys up saying you run from him. All right, let me go ahead and say here, you can, we have not discussed this ahead of time because this comment just came out, but let's see if AP agrees. AP, do we hereby invite, for the 487 millionth time, these guys who say we're scared of them onto our live stream, do we hereby invite Sneako and Sheikh Uthman to join us on either one of our channels or both live to have a discussion about Islam?
Yes.
Oh, we did it, but we're running. He won't do it. He won't do it. Sneako won't do it, but they'll both say that we're running from them. Watch. This is just how it goes.
This is so ridiculous. You went to him, right? But in my case, even he called me out initially, made a video in which he called me out for no reason. Like he's propagating some billboard or something, and he's calling me out while he's talking about how great their Dawah is. I don't know why. I make a response and say, hey, if you want to have a discussion or a debate, just let's have an organized debate. Later he mentions me again. He calls me out again in worse ways, and I'm like, hey, let's have a debate. And I get in touch with one of his guys who's actually directly in contact with him. I say, hey, tell Sheikh Uthman if he so badly wants to talk to me, if he wants to bury me or destroy me, which is what he has said in his videos, I'm happy to have a moderated debate. And then he says to that guy, I'm not a debater, but he should come to my park. And then he goes again and is like, these people are running from me.
He only likes talking in that one spot where he's surrounded by a bunch of yes men who are just nodding in agreement the entire time and so on.
But then why is he saying that I'm running from him when I am the one who is telling him, let's have a debate?
We're here.
If you keep
We're here.
mentioning me, and he's leaving.
We're here.
Like, this guy is just
has he even had an actual like formal debate? I don't recall.
Never.
He doesn't want to do it. But and this is the weird thing. We can invite them 57,000 times. They'll all say we're the ones running, even though we're saying right here, let's go. We're fine with it. I don't know, what can you do? It's just the sad fact that their followers will just listen to them and not listen to us. And so if they say, oh, they're all running from us, all the followers go, ha ha, they're running from them, even though it just has nothing to do with reality. But notice how this all ties together. It's Allah deceiving people, using these arguments to deceive people, and then Ali Dawah thinking it's okay to use arguments to deceive people, and then Sheikh Uthman using I mean, this is the guy who like sprayed ketchup on his own shirt and then said that because of our influence he's being attacked. So that's why people call him Sheikh Ibn Smollett. It's like they're all using deception as their go-to method. And so even here, oh, they're all running it's pure deception, and their followers love it.
It's also funny that he is having a stream with Sneeko, and for some reason, when they're talking about Islam, he has to, of course, once again, bring up you and me out of nowhere. That's how he does his dawah.
Strange to be spending so much time talking about people and then calling them scared when they're literally right there inviting you to join them and expose them.
You can join right now.
Can Ali Dawah join us right now to explain?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I don't know what we're going to debate, because it seems like we're all on the same page with the scientific argument being completely debunked and absolute nonsense, in his words. Let's go ahead and let him finish this clip here. I don't think there's anything important here, but...
Is every mu'min is a Muslim, but not every Muslim is a mu'min. A true believer in that sense. This comes with time, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this video, because we know very clearly our brother Andrew Tate is a Muslim. Is he a mu'min yet? No, not just yet. He'll be working towards that. So this clearly shows us the following. But Allah also mentions in Surah Ahzab in the Quran, إِنَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ وَالْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ وَالْقَانِتِينَ وَالْقَانِتَاتِ. And the verse goes on, and that they will have a great reward.
Powerful.
So we need to understand, we give him the benefit of doubt. He's still learning.
So that was all in response to Andrew Tate having not knowing anything about Islam and having completely stupid reasons for converting to Islam. Ali Dawah said a bunch of words, and that's always supposed to be a decisive refutation of any objection. But fortunately for us, he tossed in there that the scientific argument has been debunked and that it's absolute nonsense. Now, there were two possibilities. We talked about this recently. There were two possibilities because Ali Dawah's followers complained, especially when we started sharing the clip and talking about it, pointing out that all of this dawah from Ahmed Deedat and Zakir Naik seemed like their biggest main argument was scientific miracles, and now Muslim da'is themselves are acknowledging that it's been completely debunked. And so this is going to raise the objection, wait a minute, I converted because of that. I converted because of those reasons. And now you're saying it was all nonsense, absolute nonsense, Ali Dawah? And so the question is, once he gets the blowback from his fans, people, oh, you're destroying my faith, just like Sheikh Uthman did when he acknowledged that there are holes in the narrative. What is he going to do? Is he going to backtrack and say, oh, what I really meant is that this particular version of the argument was refuted, but not the whole argument, right? Was he going to do that? Or is he going to stand his ground like a man? Well, happy to say Ali Dawah stood his ground like a man. He didn't give in to the peer pressure. He didn't back down from the constant complaints of all the Muslims whose faith in Islam was being completely destroyed by his dawah. He stood his ground. He doubled down. He affirmed, yes, it has been debunked. So we're actually going to go through this video. What are you grinning at here? You got something to say?
While we're doing this, I'm writing a message to Sheikh Uthman. So.
Oh, sending him a message?
I'm just putting it on my YouTube community tab like once more, telling him to come and discuss with me.
I can't imagine him actually going on anything where there's going to be open discussion, because I mean, the first thing anyone's going to do is, hey, explain this whole stabbing where you got stabbed in this hate crime, and you said that you did the police reports, and they had the knife, and they arrested the guy, and he went to court and was convicted and put in jail, and yet the entire police department and the prosecutors, there's no record of this happening anywhere. Can you please explain how all of this happened without anyone in the world except you being aware of it? He knows something like that's going to happen, so he's going to have to avoid it. Have you seen? There have been clips where someone called him out in a mosque Q&A, and asked him about that. Really? And he starts calling the other guy liar. You see, this is a liar. He came in here just to try and do this. He pretends he's sincere when he's not. Look at this liar. Look at this liar. And they remove the guy from the mosque, I think. For exposing him. But this is what you have to do for attention in Dawah.
He's just a giant child at this point. I don't even know what to say. I mean, if I was running around constantly mentioning some guy's name and saying, "Oh, he's running from me. He's scared of me," I would feel pretty childish. You know? This guy is walking around, this imam, this sheikh with his address and his beard, and acts like a little baby. It's just so funny to me. I don't know.
What is this? Why you go live when it's 2:30 in Germany? We didn't go live when it's 2:30 in Germany because that doesn't even match up that we went live on the hour. But besides, we did it because we don't like Germany. We specifically choose this time because we do not like Germany at all, period. Yeah. AP used to live there. He said it is indeed a garbage country.
I only liked it at one point in history, but after that, I no longer like it. But yeah.
All right. So should we check out Ali Dawah's new video?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Ali Dawah is going to double down, ladies and gentlemen. But what's interesting here is he actually knows enough that he agrees once again that the scientific argument has been debunked. He says it very clearly. But then the obvious question that's going to arise is, wait a minute, if our faith in Islam was based on this and it turns out to be completely debunked, what are we supposed to base our confidence in now? Well, how are we going to do Dawah now if all our arguments for perfect preservation and scientific miracles, if all our arguments have been destroyed? What are we going to do now? And Ali Dawah does give his new case for Islam, and my goodness, I am rooting for him. Everyone, listen to Ali Dawah. Use this 100% as your argument for Islam. You won't regret it after you leave Islam.
That sounds powerful.
All right, so I cut off his little commercial at the beginning, but the actual content will have, let's check this out.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Okay, so guys, this is a quick video, inshallah. I didn't want to do a dedicated video to this. I was here with the brothers filming for the podcast, and I thought while I'm sat here, I'll quickly touch up on this quickly because it's not really that important. So in the Andrew Tate video,
it's not that important. This is like global Dawah changing stuff here.
There are lots of Muslims in the comment section of that video who are shocked and surprised and go like, "Brother Ali, what does this mean? What are you talking about? Why are you saying this has been debunked and it's nonsense? Can you please clarify?" And he's attacking the narrative of so many Muslims who come to me and to you and propose that as an argument for Islam, and now he acts like this is no big deal.
Yeah, I have to say, him not realizing what a big deal this is. This is massive, and basically the general rule. I don't have any actual clear mathematics. It's just the way it seems. It seems that a popular Muslim scholar or da'i admitting something is roughly equivalent of 10 years of us making the exact same point. In other
Yeah.
words, Muslims said perfect preservation right down to the letter year after year after year. We showed them that the Quran has not been preserved that way according to their own sources, according to the manuscript tradition, according to Qurans around the world. Even when Hatun is going and putting the Quran in their faces, they're still, different versions of the Quran in their faces. They're still clinging to it. They're still thinking that their scholars have some explanation for how this is all just one Quran. They think that, they assume it. They assume we're liars and their scholars are telling the truth. And it's not until like Sheikh Yasser Qadi will come along and say, okay, the standard narrative has holes in it. We've got some problems, but we cannot, under any circumstances, discuss this in front of Muslims because we will destroy their faith. So he doesn't want to give an explanation, but him acknowledging that, suddenly, they all catch on. They flip out at first, but then they all catch on. And it's actually, it's much rarer to see the argument from perfect preservation now. You'll occasionally see it from a Muslim, but not anywhere near what it was just 5 years ago before the holes in the narrative interview. So somehow their guys admitting something like seals the deal for Muslims and makes them take it seriously, when before that they're telling us we're liars. So if Zakir Naik says, look at this miracle in the Quran. How could Muhammad know this, right? When he says something like that and we say, that's a lie, read the passage, that's a lie, you don't know what science, no, that does not line up with embryology. That does not line up with cosmology. None of this lines up. So, no, you're liars, you're jealous because of the powerful miracles, right? And they'll say that for years. And then Ali Dawah will just come out, yeah, they're right, it's all been debunked. And suddenly,
It's
okay,
garbage.
it's been debunked. Let's go to our new argument. Interesting stuff.
You know what's very weird to me about this whole thing? His husband, Mohammed Hijab, he had a discussion with me where he specifically told me several times that he thinks that certain things about the Quran are scientific miracles. He mentioned things about the Quran. He was like, and I think, this is a miracle, or this could be seen as a miracle. This is what that guy used in a stream that currently probably has like a total of nearly 1 million views. and here he is coming out and acting like, after applauding Muhammad Hijab for that, coming out here and it's like, scientific miracles in Quran, it's nonsense. It's been debunked. Wow. Okay, when did that happen?
Loving this. And it's just people always focus on what's happening right now and not like the trajectory of where things are going. You always have to look. If the argument from perfect preservation just collapsed and now the scientific miracles has just collapsed, like what's next? Like what's next in 2 years or 3 years? What other big thing is going to collapse? But it seems like it's all coming. And wow, it is fun to watch. We have here, whose bookshelf do you like more, Mike Winger or Ali Dawah's? I got to speak the truth. Ali Dawah's got a cooler bookshelf. Mike Winger
Really?
had that garbage IKEA stuff. None of this is cooler than mine. Mine are way cooler. But Ali Dawah needs some sort of splash of color, like everything is. What's up with all the earth tones today, Ali Dawah? It's all earth tones. Get something a little brighter here, but maybe it's your mood. Your mood is earth tones now that you're understanding that you've buried this argument. Did you see how I tied earth tones to burying something?
Wow.
My goodness, that's
Wow.
powerful.
That was
powerful.
Nobody can imitate that.
We're getting better. Yeah, show me where Allah can do that. I just did it off the top of my head. Powerful. All right, let's get some more. Ali G. Dawah.
I mentioned that the scientific miracles in the Quran got debunked. And for some odd reason, funnily enough, like as if they thought that it was a slip of the tongue. I'll repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked. Yeah, the tajweed was on point. So
he's clarifying. Isn't that funny? Because a lot of the people in the comments were saying, Ali, could you clarify what you're saying? Could you clarify? It's the same stupid thing they did with Sheikh Yasser Qadi when they're leaking his messages, and he's really sounding like he doesn't think the standard explanations for Quran variants do a good job. And could you clarify that for us? That's what Muhammad Hijab was doing. Just come on here and you'll clarify it, and then everyone will see you're not denying the perfect preservation of the Quran. And they keep asking for clarification. Guys, take this as a lesson. When someone says that one of your favorite arguments is wrong, stay quiet and move on and pretend it didn't happen. Because if you ask for clarification, be careful what you wish for. You're going to get it.
By the way, people are saying that my bookshelf is apparently their favorite. It's better.
Yours is cooler because it's invisible.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's go.
That's way cooler.
When I said this, a lot of Islamophobes were celebrating as if I was like, oh.
Hey, I wonder who he's talking about here. Let me back up. By the way, isn't this hilarious? It's like, I don't even know why these Islamophobes want to mention this just because we've been lying for decades about what's in the Quran, and I finally admit that this be a lie. Yeah, why does they care? Why do we care that you finally admitted that something you've been saying for years is a lie? Because we've been trying to get people to understand that they're dealing with liars who will make things up to defend their religion, and you proved our point perfectly. That's why we're using it, Ali.
We have debates about this with Muslims.
Yeah.
We have debates about this whole topic with Muslims, and here the most popular Muslim YouTuber, for some weird reason, comes out and says that is all nonsense. How? Of course, this is going to be very interesting, surprising, shocking.
Yeah, yeah. Please, Ali, please continue what you're doing.
Man, got debunked. Yeah, I hope my tajweed was on point. So when I said this, a lot of Islamophobes were celebrating as if I was like, oh my gosh, like this video is going to be me apologizing.
Guilty.
No, listen, it got debunked. Now let's give some context for some Muslims so they can understand. For example, and I'll tell you where this comes from, and you know why many people in the Dawah, YouTubers, my colleagues, like brothers that I work with, didn't do a video. Why did you say that? Because they know it as well. In what?
Did you catch that? Did you catch what he just said? He said, why didn't other people make a video on this? They know it's true too.
Yeah, they agree with me.
They agree. So what's he saying? He's saying the Dawah guys know that this argument has been debunked, that it is absolute nonsense, that it's garbage. And yet, guess what? Same guys, they know that the Quran hasn't been perfectly preserved. They know that there are different Qurans in different parts of the world. They know about all the passages in the Quran that came up missing, were lost because the only people who had them memorized died in battle, that were eaten by a sheep. They know about this. Why do they keep telling people things that are false? It's just what you do in Dawah, ladies and gentlemen.
Dawah, if everybody knows this, if all of your fellow Muslim apologists are aware that the scientific miracles narrative is nonsense and it has been debunked, then I just want to ask you one question. Why did Muhammad Hijab bring that as an argument to me?
And again, Hijab has to know. I mean, Hamza Tsortsis was the one who gave the marching orders saying, hey guys, we need to stop using this argument. And that's, Hijab is one of his right-hand men, and Ali Dawah was Hijab's right-hand man. So these guys all knew it, and yet they would still not hesitate. And here's the thing. I guarantee that if even Ali Dawah was not on camera, but he's talking to some non-Muslim on a train somewhere, and that person says, oh, I don't really believe in Islam because I only believe in science. I guarantee you he's going to, the Quran has got scientific miracles in it, yeah? And would not care. Yeah. Sheikh Boyardee said, that's a good name. Is this the third show I've seen David on today? Second for AP? No, this is my second of the day, unless he's in a different time zone and he watched our live stream for last night on the same day.
Probably.
All right, let's get more from, gosh, I'm loving Ali Dawah and all this stuff he's doing right now. AP, this is weird to say. But if I were gay, you're hearing this from me. You're hearing this from me. Ali Dawah is being honest here. I can be honest too. If I were gay and blind and deaf, so that I did not have to, if I were deaf and I could not hear that voice, and all I were attracted to were people who were doing monumental work in destroying Islam at the very foundations, I would be absolutely in love with this man.
I really didn't expect you would actually go there.
I have to. Hey, he's being honest. I got to be honest, man. Andrew Martin says, David Wood, I have a question. Will you debate Hamza Den? I don't know who Hamza Den is, but yes, if he's popular and wants to
they're
debate.
I think they're referring to Hamza's Den.
Oh, the show Hamza's Den. Yeah, I've seen that. In
Yeah,
fact, I think that's where Sheikh Uthman was asked about his tweet saying that he does believe that unbelievers need to be fought and their wives taken as captives and
yeah.
enslaved and stuff. And he said, on Hamza's Den, I believe. Oh, yes. When I said that, what I really mean is blah, blah, blah. And then later on, of course, no, I never said that. What are you talking about? Someone else did that. Interesting stuff. But if lying is your method, why stop here? All right.
I think everybody knows that section where David Wood just made an honest declaration needs to be clipped. Self-explanatory. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Brothers and sisters, I was having a debate with a guy called Phil. Yes? This guy is a scientist or whatever he is, for that matter. I was debating with him, and I can remember this very clearly a couple of years ago. And I took an ayah in the Quran, which I am not qualified to do, which is it's like doing tafsir. So there was an ayah in the Quran which says that there are 7 heavens. So I was claiming, because of this whole scientific narrative, that this is talking about the ozone layer. Number one, it is haram for me to do that. Why? Because how can I give an understanding to the Quran, the ayah, with no qualification?
AP, you're laughing. Are you laughing about him saying the different layers of the ozone layer?
Yes.
I didn't know if you're laughing at that, or I didn't know if you're laughing at that, or something in the chat or something like that. But
no, I first laughed because he brought up he himself making a scientific miracle claim, which already makes me slightly laugh, because that's just ridiculous. Then it makes me laugh that he is going to the 7 heavens science argument, because that is a beyond ridiculous argument.
Yeah.
And Ali Dawah, considering that he has no idea about the world around us, or probably not even about the shape of the earth, would completely butcher that and then blame the whole scientific miracles narrative for that blunder. But then he also goes and talks about 7 ozone layers, and
yeah, so 7 different ozone layers. We still can't even figure out what he's talking about unless I assume he's talking about different layers of the atmosphere and not different ozone layers. So I assume he's talking about like you have the Earth's atmosphere, and they'll divide it up into troposphere and stratosphere and so on. But for anyone who's not familiar with the problem, you have in the Quran that there are 7 heavens and the same number of earths. There are 7 heavens and 7 earths. And Muhammad in the Hadith actually explains, it's like a journey to get to each layer of the heavens and also the earths. I think he said it's a 500-year journey through each one of them or something like that. But notice, this is take your pick. 500 years of what? Walking, 500 years of riding a camel, 500 years of driving a car, 500 years in a spaceship, 500 years at the speed of light. However you want to define that, no matter what, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to make any sense. And according to Ibn Abbas, it's 7 earths. They're all flat, stacked up like pancakes, except they've got a 500-year journey in between each one of them. The point is, if you read what the Quran says, and especially if you read what the commentaries and so on, you cannot make sense of this at all. 7 earths stacked up on top of each other, and then 7 heavens that are basically the same distance between each of the earths and so on. So Muslims have to explain this. And Ali's making a valid point here from an Islamic perspective. You can't just randomly say that it means this other thing. So Muslims will say, the 7 heavens refers to the 7 layers of the atmosphere. Well, that might work if you're talking to someone who has absolutely no clue what he's talking about. The first thing I would respond if you bring that up is, according to the Quran, the stars are in the lowest heaven. Yeah, okay, so the stars would be in the troposphere, which would be right in our face, if that's what it means. So it doesn't work. And they'll try to explain the 7 earths as like layers of the earth's crust and so on. It's like you can't do that. It doesn't fit. Those only work if you have no clue what anyone's talking about and you just go with the first explanation that someone offers you. But I've seen tons of variations of them trying to explain it. None of the explanations work. And I think that's what he's getting at. You cannot make sense of this from a scientific perspective. And yet there I was saying that it refers to ozone layers and so on. So
It is just weird. It just shows that he has no understanding when he debates people, that he has no understanding of what the Quran is talking about. Plus, and or he has no understanding of the scientific world around us, not even remotely. I mean, the Quran's narrative is Allah placed the stars into the nearest heaven, the heaven of the earth, the lowest heaven, and he created seven heavens and also placed the lights, meaning the sun and the moon, among them, which would mean if seven heavens refers to the seven layers, then that would mean the sun and the moon would have to be all part of this earth somewhere, and the stars would have to be on our level, so we could just kick them around or something like that. And it doesn't make sense at all. What is interesting is that I went into this when I made my long video about the scientific mistakes of the Quran. This whole idea of seven heavens is an idea that existed in ancient Mesopotamia, in different mythologies, different beliefs, and is just one of the ideas that seem to have made their way into the pre-Muslim environment and into Islam.
and so Ali had to find out the hard way. But notice that would be what Ali's saying right here. I mean, we can sit here and laugh at it and say that's so stupid that you're trying to apply this Quran verse to seven ozone layers and things like that. It's like beyond ridiculous. But really, that's your average Dawah followers' understanding of this. They have no idea about anything in science. They just assume, the Quran is saying something brilliant and amazing right there. And Ali's finally just saying, no, it doesn't, guys. No, it doesn't. Stop assuming that this stuff actually makes sense, because it does not. So, rooting for you, Ali. Keep it up, man. Keep up this bang-up job you're doing. Let's see some more.
And who have ever said that this is the ozone layer? Then I was having a debate with this atheist guy and trying to tell him that there's 7 ozone layers. And he was saying to me, no, my friend, there are 6 ozone layers. And I was saying 7. He was saying 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. And we said, let's go to the NASA page. So we went to the NASA page, and in the NASA page...
Anyone who says, guys, I don't care which one of you is saying is 7 ozone layers and which one's saying is 6 ozone layers. You both need to actually do a little bit of studying before your dumb conversation.
Guess what? He said the argument was apparently from the recent findings, whatever it may be. This probably changed. And this is my whole point of the video, yeah? Science changes. He said that there is 5 ozone layers. So I looked at him.
How does no one correct him on this and just say, Ali, please re-record this video and say layers of the Earth's atmosphere. Say layers of the Earth's atmosphere. When you're talking about, is it 7 or 6 or 5 ozone layers, you really sound dumber than you need to sound right now. And you wouldn't sound this dumb if you were just saying layers of the Earth's atmosphere.
I mean, when I make videos, when I record a video, and I have the idea that I might have gotten, that I want to make sure that I have presented everything the correct way, even if it's some basic stuff that I've heard like 1,000 times in my life. I sit down and quickly verify the information that I've presented, and then sometimes some things might get through that are that could be mistakes.
Yeah.
But I try to fact check as much as possible and put it out there. But on something like this guy just keeps talking about ozone layers like it's something he never heard of before, and then just puts it out there without any correction. And it's kind of ridiculous. And you have a responsibility for knowledge, for information.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about recently when I said that that a manipulator conditions his followers, but the followers are simultaneously conditioning the manipulator as to what he can get away with, right? So anyway, so you take someone like Andrew Tate, and he's conditioning his followers to mindlessly agree with him on everything he says. But when they actually do that, they just go along with anything he says, even if he contradicted himself the day before. that is a message from your followers to you that you can just say anything you want, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how obviously false it is, and they'll just go along with what you say. Well, any one of the Dawah guys ends up being surrounded by yes men who just shower him with praise as if he's a hero in every situation. Anything he says, no matter how obviously wrong it is, they will cheer for him. That has an effect on people over time. If your own community does not call you out for the things you say, then it gets built into you. You get hardwired to think, I don't need to be careful at all, because it doesn't matter. I can be right, I can be wrong. If your goal is getting praised and showered with praise because you're a narcissist, well, they're going to shower you with praise if you say something that's true. They're going to shower you with praise if you say something is false. Why do you have to care? You could just keep blurting stuff out. They shower you with praise when you say something, when you blurt it out, especially if you're thumping your chest. So what do you need to do? Do you need to be careful? No, you just need to thump your chest and say, this is the way it is. That's what they cheer for. This is what all their da'is are like right now. And they're wondering why it's falling apart. My goodness, man. All right. Back to our good friend, Ali Dawah.
At me and I was thinking, I'm saying 7, you're saying 6, NASA is saying 5. That is where the
NASA did not say 5
you know what?
ozone layers.
Because we are making claims about the Quran and specific verses, and because we was, not myself, I would say, but a lot of people were very insecure because of the scientific,
not you
discoveries though, or whatever it may be, and we was trying to fit the scientific narrative into the Quran, which was a big mistake, because it's as good as we were making science the guideline,
the standard, the
for
criterion,
the Quran to be accepted. This is nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah,
we was trying
take
to
the
fit
Quran, not science. To hell with science. Science changes to.
To hell with science, guys. That's the clip you want for Twitter. To hell with science. Yeah, Ali
to hell
Dawah,
with science.
Scientific champion of the world.
Today they talk about the Big Bang. Now there's new studies or whatever, new findings that there was no Big Bang. So my point is what? You cannot come and say this verse here is a scientific miracle, is a scientific fact. Why? Not because the Quran is wrong, because science changes, number one. Number two, who told you that verse in the Quran is talking about what you're ascribing to it?
And that is the, even, being nice here, that is the valid point that he's making. Whenever you say, like in his example, the 7 heavens, when you say that's referring to, let's even correct him, layers of the Earth's atmosphere, where are you getting that from in the text? That is not coming from the text. It does not make sense in light of the text. It doesn't make sense in the light of hadith. It doesn't make sense in light of the commentary. And yet you're saying it anyway. You've just given the Quran a meaning which the Quran cannot possibly mean. And so Ali's basically saying that that's what we're doing when we use these scientific miracles. We're taking something from the Quran and turning it into something that was never intended, based on something we see in science. There's a new finding in science. Let's go read this into the Quran, and we'll twist verses into making these claims. And he's realizing how dangerous and bad that is. But guess what? That's been the standard method of Dawah for at least 30 or 40 years. I mean, this is the bread and butter of Ahmed Deedat and Zakir Naik and so on. And Ali Dawah is saying that these guys are being really, really, really stupid in what they're doing. And I have to agree. Of everything else Ali Dawah has ever said, I have to agree with them on this one.
I mean, I have been thinking about the same thing for quite a while now. When Muslims make this claim that certain Quran verses refer to these facts which we didn't know but now know, they are basically trying to infer what Allah was actually trying to say, and are making science here the arbiter. And yeah, I mean, he's right on that point, as you said. He is really trying to read his own understanding into these verses when a Muslim tries to argue from a scientific miracle. For example, the whole mountains have roots thing that they like to bring up. The Quran describes mountains as pegs that Allah placed into the earth, and they look like they might have like roots. And when you look at mountains, they actually have these roots, and therefore the Quran the Quran actually presents a miracle here, which is just completely false on so many levels, because mountains don't all have roots. When people talk about mountains having roots, they are not talking about actual roots. They're talking about these buoyant roots, which are not real roots, which are just described that way. Plus, the Quran never says anything about roots. It says that Allah plants the mountains into the earth as pegs, which has nothing to do with what they're claiming. And that is just problematic on so many levels, because they are reading something completely wrong into the text and thereby corrupting Allah's words in order to convert people to Islam or to reaffirm their own faith, which should be considered ridiculous from an Islamic aspect too. So there he is actually right. But it's just funny to me that his method of getting to that, or the way he got to that, was using one of the worst possible scientific miracle arguments there are, using it in such a wrong way as well. And then thinking, look, it doesn't make sense. Therefore, all the scientific miracles narrative, it's all nonsense, absolute garbage, completely wrong. It's all been debunked.
Yeah, it is. My goodness, it's wild. Hey, we've got God Logic. He says he's in the green room. Hey, is there something you need to push? It's saying no one's ever come up like this before. It's always come up. Hey, hang on. Oh, there we go.
Yo.
Hey, how's it going? We're going through.
What's going on, guys?
We're going through Ali Dawah's video. Ali Dawah acknowledging that the scientific miracles argument has been debunked. You've already seen this, but you were just apparently you said that Sheikh Uthman is out there with Sneeko. Is that right?
Sheikh Uthman. I was literally on my way to come here to do the stream, and a little Muslim kid named Farhan ran up to me and said, "Hey, Sheikh Uthman and Sneeko are here." I said, "No, they're not. Stop lying to me." He said, "No, for real, they're streaming right now." He pulled out his phone and showed that they're streaming, and they were praying over there in the corner. And it was like, "Can you go and talk to them? Can you go ask them questions?" I said, "Yeah, I will." So I was literally about to go home to do the stream, but I'm like, I can't pass this up. They're here. I ain't seen Uthman in over a year. So let me go talk to my best pal, man. And then Sneeko was here. So yeah, they were both there. They had a whole crowd, and we got into it. We had a discussion.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, did you convert to Islam? Because obviously with the combined powers of Sneeko and Sheikh Uthman, you must have been overwhelmed by the powerful evidence, especially if he had a book with a footnote in it that he could show you.
Yeah, I actually, there was so much. I felt so much of Jabril there that it was almost overwhelming. I just felt the power. I don't know, something was like kind of almost strangling me, and I just heard recite. Stop asking questions. I started to hear this little stuff, and so, but glory to God. What I'm saying, we got the real Holy Spirit. So I did not succumb to the power of Dawah. I did not.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah,
Very
you can
sad
always.
to hear that. Yeah.
We just said it because earlier someone said that Uthman and Sneeko were saying we're scared and we're running from them, even though we keep saying they're welcome to join us. So you've heard it here. Avery. Sneeko and Sheikh Uthman, you are invited to join us and expose and humiliate us. Happy to have you.
They're not doing nothing now. They went to whatever spot they're at, and they're just chilling. So they got the time actually right now. I'm pretty sure they know you guys are streaming. They could pop up right now.
Yeah, contact us. What?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I was just telling before you got on here. I was telling AP. I think that Sheikh Uthman is worried about going on anyone's live stream because people are instantly probably going to ask him to clarify the vicious hate crime against him.
Right. Right. Where's that evidence, man? Yeah, the world hasn't forgotten about that, David. And we have not forgotten. We still want answers. We still want answers to that,
That's true. But, and he even what's hilarious is, people only found out about him like in the last year or two. And he was asked somewhere about, hey, where's the evidence? You keep saying this guy was locked up. He was arrested. He went to court. He was convicted. He was sentenced. And no one except you has any clue what you're talking about. Not the police, not the prosecutors. No one. Courts have no record of this. How is this all happening? And his response was, oh, well, yes, everything's going to be clarified in the documentary that
In
is
the
being made about.
documentary.
And it's like, wait, I've been going around saying I could spot you at 900 miles as a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
The moment everyone starts finding out about you, it's, oh, look at this fake hate crime. And oh, we're making a documentary about it.
Yeah.
My goodness,
Wow.
man. These are awesome times. These are awesome
Yeah.
times to be in.
It's great, man. Look, David, just real quick, just last thing on this. I guess it will just go with the flow, whatever. You guys can ask whatever you want, but dude, Sneako's there, right? You know, he's there, and you know, Uthman is trying to use him like the, you know,
Exactly.
you know, trying to use him like that. You know how he does, and I'm doing the same thing. And so, but you could tell when I ask him the very clear question or whatever, he's, you know, just let him answer, just let him answer, type of thing. He won't engage really with what I'm saying. But dude, he's so lost. He has no idea what Islam is or what Uthman is talking about. You guys will see the clip. We were talking about the different variant because he brought up a variant in the Bible, and they try to act like this proves falsehood. So I brought a variant in the Quran where it's either Muhammad who gets shocked or does Allah get shocked? Which one is it? He told me to bring an English translation that translates it differently.
Wow.
Bring me an English translation that shows the difference.
Hatun's got, but notice, wait, English translation?
Yes.
That's
Bring
funny.
an English translation that shows the difference. Then you'll have a valid point, Avery. Forget the Arabic. He threw the Arabic under the bus.
Yeah. Who cares about the Arabic? The only thing we care about is the English, which you could do very easily. I mean, you can find all sorts of variants in the English translations of the Quran. What do they say when you bring those up? They say, but that's not in the Arabic. And apparently, if you bring up variants in the Arabic, but that doesn't matter because the English, and what they know is like in general, most Qurans that you would find in English today are going to be versions of the Hafs.
Yes.
So that's all he's assuming. It's harder to find English translations of the other, even though they do exist. Hatun has a ton of the Arabic ones, but you can find translations of some of the other ones. But notice, guys, that's what you're dealing with. Avery points out there is a variant in Arabic here. So if you're going to say a variant in the Bible is proof of corruption, say it about this. And Sheikh Uthman's response was apparently, and we only have Avery to go on here, so maybe the video is going to be completely different, and Sheikh Uthman will be completely vindicated.
Right.
But based on what I know about these two gentlemen, Avery and Sheikh Uthman, one is a compulsive liar. The other is not. So I'm guessing that Sheikh Uthman there was just lying and manipulating, and that Avery is the one who's telling the truth about the exchange. But fortunately, there's video that we'll be able to judge.
You guys will see the clip pretty soon, guys. It'll be up pretty soon. Yeah.
I'm just slightly confused because Sneeko was going around all the time saying the Bible has not been preserved. It's not like the Quran. There's only one Quran, but the Bible has all these different versions, so many versions, numerous versions, and he was referring to all the different translations of the Bible.
Yeah.
And so when they are now referring to the translations of the Quran and asking you to bring a different translation, that doesn't really make sense.
There seems to be if we're always looking at the sources of their claims, at their insane claims, and it seems like Andrew Tate has been clinging to like the Muhammad hijab crowd, whereas Sneeko is clinging to the Sheikh Uthman. So the Sheikh Uthman crowd. Mm-hmm. And so when you're wondering, where did you get ideas like the Council of Nicaea was a book of the Bible that was taken out? He probably was hearing that from Sheikh Uthman, who doesn't know any better, right? But here's what's amazing. I guarantee you, if Sheikh Uthman were to stand at his spot with the crowd that surrounds him, and he were to say, and one thing we know is that the Council of Nicaea was a book of the Bible that was taken out. Prove me wrong. And so all of his followers would mindlessly agree with him. They've been
They will say, yes.
Alhamdulillah. And if Avery were there saying that's idiotic nonsense, it would be, he's lying because he's ashamed that the book of the Council of Nicaea was removed. This is Dawah, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you, AP, David, that's all that, the showboating, the hype manness. Look, you guys will see it. All it is just a bunch of showboating and his hype men behind him, praising everything he says and like it's a real point. Mm-hmm. And while there's the three, like I told you, there's a lot of them. There was a bunch behind him and around me and then there was like three others who were trying to so Anthony was recording for me. They were trying to get in the way of my camera. They were trying to block it, throw their hands in the way. So Anthony had to raise the tripod up and hold it the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And record like that. But they were still
Shocker.
trying to, nudge him a bit and get him off and stuff like that. So you'll see movement and stuff because they did not want us to get it on footage in this conversation, man. They were frightened. They were frightened and they were in straight panic mode the whole time, bro.
And keep in mind, Avery, you're actually pretty new to a lot of this, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're a new guy. It's not like you're Jay Smith and you've been doing this for 30 years or something. You're a new guy. They should love to school you. Instead, they have to cover up his camera. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is this?
Look,
what is this?
I'm a new guy, man. Fastest growing shake in the world. And it's tough. It's tough that they're hating on my name. They're hating on my title as Shake Logic. And they hate that we have the fastest growing community called Original Quran Only Christianity, where we affirm the original Quran, not the tampered Quran. Today.
Nice.
The one that
affirms the Trinity.
It affirms the Trinity.
Before Uthman corrupted it.
Mm-hmm. Before Uthman corrupted it and burned it, it affirmed the deity of Christ and the crucifixion. It was corrupted. They made Muhammad a prophet, but he used to be a disciple in his true story. So we believe in the original Quran.
Yeah, and guys, if you don't understand what's going on here, when we say, we believe in the original Quran and we believe in the real Muhammad, the one, the Muhammad, the Christian evangelist who brought his revelations in Arabic, which affirmed the death, resurrection, and divine nature of Jesus and the triune God, and so on. And so we say, yes, that's what Muhammad really was. And in fact, since we are respecting the real Muhammad, you Muslims need to realize that we respect Muhammad more than you.
Exactly.
Our point is that sounds absolutely insane to every Muslim watching. How can you just say, Muhammad was actually a Christian evangelist and his book was later corrupted by Uthman? How can you do that? And you think it sounds ridiculous? Great. That's what you sound like to us. When, Jesus was a Muslim and his followers are Muslims, it was later corrupted by the Apostle Paul. That's what you sound like to us when you just make stuff up and you cling to it. All right. So I had a question here. Y'all seen Javad Hashmi and Daniel Hakikachu's debate? I watched 5 minutes or so of it, and then I realized it was like 6.5 hours. They were already several hours deep into it, and I was like, it's a little on the long side.
I haven't seen it. People only brought it up to me because apparently they mentioned me for some reason during the debate.
They both called you a name.
Yeah, and I just wanted to check what that is all about. But then I went in there and listened for a little bit, but I thought that this is too much. I mean, 6.5 hours debate.
What'd you be doing to all these guys, man? I think you're a nice guy. What you be doing?
Yeah, what are you doing in everyone's head, man? People having a debate that has nothing to do with you, and they both start talking to you. That's weird.
Right,
I think they just, maybe I'm just very friendly and they like me. And
that's true.
That's why
Everyone wants to be on AP's side. And the argument from Scientific Miracles looks like it was hit by Al Capone's Chicago typewriter. The apostasy rate just keeps on rising. Yeah, and guys, I've said it before. This is just getting started. If you go back 15 years, Muslims were still claiming no one has ever left Islam. It's a lie. Anyone who says he's left Islam must be a Jew. And they would say stuff like that. And you think, this is insane. But now they talk about the avalanche of apostasy. They're acknowledging that all these people are leaving Islam. And so basically the rate of apostasy is accelerating rapidly. And yet Ali Dawah, in the video we're about to go back to watching, is going to insist that we're all just terrified because of Islam's explosive growth, thanks to people like Sneeko and Andrew Tate. So, all right, Avi,
sitting in our rage.
Yeah. We've we've seen it, but all right. So we're gonna watch a little more Ali Dawah here. Let's check it out.
Simple as that. So that's why I repeat it one more time for my fans, those Islamophobes. The scientific argument, the scientific miracles of the Quran is debunked.
Thank you.
And we as Muslims, guess what? It doesn't bother us to the least. You know why?
It doesn't bother us to the least.
It doesn't bother you. Not
have you read your comments, AP?
Man.
Oh shoot.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Because alhamdulillah, you know what's very interesting? People are flocking to Islam.
Where?
Isn't that crazy?
Sneako?
All you Murtads, you ex-Muslims, all you hostile Christians, Islamophobes, not all of you, Zionists, some of you are Jews, some of you Hindus, all of you guys have got your tails between your legs walking away.
Wait,
There are Hindu Zionists?
we're sitting here. Everyone's playing his video because we love it, and we're cheering, and we're saying, I'm waking up every day now, like, go Ali, go Ali, go Ali, go Ali, go Ali, go Ali, go, and he's like, oh, but you're all running between with your tails between your legs because you're so scared of all the peoples that's converting, and it's like, what?
We literally said this last time. We said this. Listen, Ali Dawah is becoming an even better Christian apologist than David Wood, than Sam Shimon, than Anthony Rogers, than me, Avery Agala. He's becoming the face of Christian apologetics, and we will support you in any way. We're praying for you, Ali Dawah. We're supporting you. If you need financial help, we'll raise some money.
We'll do a collection. We'll do a collection. We will
we'll pass the plate around.
We will fund Ali Dawah to destroy these arguments for us. But yeah, Avery, a little bit before you joined us, I was pointing out that, like, when these guys admit something, it's like the equivalent of like 10 years of us trying to expose the lie. So we can spend 10 years showing Quran variants, but Sheikh Yasser Qadi just admitting it is like, it's like equal. It's like equal to 10. It's like 10 years of work for us. It's like equal to one live stream admitting
That's good. That's good.
for them. And so, yes, Ali Dawah has just what's taken us 2 decades to do. He's doing it for us right now. Right. And it is beautiful. And he thinks that we're all upset and we're crying over it. It's hilarious.
We're clearly crying.
And you know what's
we're moaning and wailing. That, I mean, we may be laughing on the outside, but on the inside, we're weeping, everyone. We're really
I'm terrified right now.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me just let it out. Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no. They admitted that the perfect preservation was a lie and that the mathematical miracles was a lie. Now he's saying that the scientific miracle. What the heck? What's wrong with these guys, man? These guys live in it's like he's in an alternate dimension somehow. This is bizarro Ali Dawah. All right, let's see.
Interesting. People are coming to Islam because of its intolerance. What happened to, me saying...
Hang on. Let's go back. We've got the new argument. So the perfect preservation's out, mathematical miracles out, scientific out, and now the real reason they're coming to Islam is his new argument, which is the argument from intolerance. That Islam
don't take none, man.
Yeah.
That's the argument.
So hang on. You're about to see it, ladies and gentlemen, that Ali Dawah's new argument for Islam, since all the other arguments for Islam fail miserably, his new argument for Islam is basically the same thing that someone from the KKK would say. We're really intolerant over here. Join us. Let's see what he says here, because this is awesome. Oh, gosh, we love this guy.
Some of you Hindus, all of you guys have got your tails between your legs walking away. And you know what's interesting? People are coming to Islam because of its intolerance. What happened to, me saying that, and we are proud of that. And I'll repeat it again. Yes, we are proud of that. Yes.
Now, hold on.
Yeah,
what happened to it? What happened to it? What happened to it is, Ali Dawah, maybe you should go back to that video in which you said, and we are proud of that, and you should go through the comment section of that video, or you should just check the like-dislike ratio with some tools that you might use. But just check the comment section, see what people are saying in response to you, saying that I and people like me should be executed, and you are proud of that, and you Muslims would be watching. You will see the reactions. Many Muslims think, hey, what is this? What are you doing? Why are you saying this out here? Many non-Muslims are saying, wow, okay, this is the true face of Islam. Thank you for showing the true face of Islam. Islam is a horrible religion. This is what people are saying. That's what is happening. You have thereby shown the hateful, intolerant face of Islam, which pushes people away and brings people into your religion like Andrew Tate and Sneako, who, since you might be very short-sighted, and you might not see it, will not be good for your religion in the long run. They will not. They will be damaging for your religion in the long run. You
Yeah,
should be realizing that.
yeah, guys, try to understand what Ali Dawah is actually claiming right here. He said that people are flocking to Islam because of the intolerance. And then the example he gives, I don't even think he clarifies it, but he says he knows we'll understand it. He knows everyone who's watching will understand when he says we're proud of that. That's his famous line that people have made songs about. But in context, it's about killing apostates and him bragging that once they take over, they're going to kill people like AP. And he's claiming that this is the reason that people are flocking to Islam, because Islam is the one that will kill apostates. That's why everyone wants to be Muslim right now.
Powerful.
Like, guys, I mean, can you even make sense of this? I mean,
Yes.
is he serious? Like,
Yeah. If you can't tell David or AP that that's literally wahi and hikmah, then this really does show the terror. Don't laugh. I'm talking.
he's the king of hikmah. The king of hikmah.
Don't. This is the disrespect that Ali is talking about. You laughing is really showing the real terror. This is hikmah. This is the wisdom. Look, Andrew Tate converted because we know the reason why he converted. We got sneaker. Look, this is clear that people are converting because of this is why, man. Stop hating. Stop.
Powerful.
Right?
Isn't it amazing that he and his husband Mohammed Hijab, they both go for the same sentiment. They both go for the same idea. Yes, we are intolerant. Our religion is intolerant. Yes, we don't like when people insult and criticize our religion. Yes, we will kill people. And you know what? You are scared now because you're hearing this. I mean, he's basically trying to copy Mohammed Hijab in his squeaky voice, but they both have that same sentiment, like this whole pretending that we are all scared of them, pretending that we are all scared of what is happening in Islam right now, and that this is actually a very great, a very grand thing. These people are completely out of touch with reality.
Indeed, it's we talked about this the other day, Avery, but they're just going all in, right? They're giving up. I mean, we are actually at the stage where they're literally giving up on arguments they don't believe they will work. And so they're going all in on like Andrew Tate's method of, hey, everyone join us. We're going to be the strong ones. We're going to be the red pills. We're going to fight the matrix. And Ali Dawah is looking at that saying, wow, if this is what people find impressive, if this is what Andrew Tate found impressive, surely the entire world which hates him is going to be impressed by the same thing, yeah?
That's hikmah.
That's the hikmah. These guys definitely got the hikmah.
And guess how those people will react to this, who have been supporting the Muslims for a very long time in the West, and who have made it possible for the Islamists to have their platforms and say whatever they want, who have been censoring us for criticizing Muslims and criticizing Islam. Guess how those liberal, leftist, progressive people will react to it the more you open up the true face of Islam. I mean, please go and do that, because we really need those people to wake up and see what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm. No, that AP, I mean, AP, Avery, this guy does not realize what he's done because he's so low hikmah, right? I'm not saying that just because I'm not saying this just because he's dumb and he says stupid things. There are pretty high hikmah individuals who understand, guys, we need to think a couple of moves ahead. This is a really, really bad idea. And we'll watch a little more, but we're going to explain why Ali and the whole Tate crowd, they have no idea how they have just doomed the Ummah. I mean, they have no clue what they just did. They just made possibly the stupidest blunder in the history of blunders. We'll watch this once we understand how good they had it, that they did not even realize how good they had it, and what they've just done to undermine that advantage that they had. Dumbest tactic in the history of forever. I challenge you to find something dumber than what these guys have just done. Let's go ahead and watch.
Alhamdulillah, in Islam, there is that capital punishment. We are proud of that. Alhamdulillah. Every legislation in the Quran and the Sunnah, we are proud of that. And I know you're watching this and biting your tongue out of your fingers out of rage, like Allah says in the Quran. Die in your rage.
Look at me,
Millions and
outraged. I'm
Yeah,
outraged.
we're so enraged right now. Oh no, Ali Dawah's destroying Islam from within. Oh, we're so outraged. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
Leave Islam alone, Ali Dawah. Leave Islam alone. Don't destroy it. Play the video.
Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is awesome. I want to keep watching this over and over and over again. But let's go and watch a little
Yeah,
more.
you're not getting tired of this video, bro.
Oh no, I love this video. This is great. This is great.
Just let him
thousands
speak.
of
He's
people are
doing a
coming
great
to Islam. Alhamdulillah. What happened to all your arguments of Islam mistreats women? Islam says this punishment for ex-Muslims. Islam says da da da. Oh, look how bad it is. People are still flocking to Islam. Alhamdulillah.
Where? Because Sneakle and Tate. It's like, Sneakle. Okay, that's two. What else you got? And by the way, notice this is the same guy in another video. Brothers and sisters, 100,000 Muslims are leaving Islam every year, and he didn't even get that right. That's just in the United States. These are the same guys who are running around the avalanche of apostasy. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And as soon as they have to thump their chest, it's you're screaming and crying and running with your tails between the legs because everyone's converting to Islam based on our intolerance.
I mean, if you at the same time make videos asking for charity because people are leaving Islam and your child is going to become an apostate and there's an avalanche and this will doom us, but at the same time also go out and say people are flocking to Islam and this makes you so mad. Islam is growing. If you put those two things out together at the same time, then I cannot take you as an honest person. There's just no way.
I think that we're missing something here, guys, and I think this is the wahi that takes place here. Is that, and there's probably a mathematical miracle behind this, that when there is someone with a name, with some type of popularity, like a Andrew Tate or maybe some famous UFC fighter or something like that, that if a person has a name, that kind of equates to a plurality of people. So if there's an Andrew Tate that just converted to Islam, that is people flocking, because he's so popular. So that's probably the mathematical miracle behind it.
Yeah. So I guess it's technically correct. There are two people flocking to Islam. So people are flocking to Islam. I guess you could defend that. Well, what about all the people who are leaving it?
That's been corrupted.
Yeah. That's been corrupted. All right, let's watch a little more Ali Dawah here.
It's as simple as that. And we praise our Lord. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when people are coming in multitudes to Islam, Alhamdulillah, we praise. All your efforts that you did for 10 years, it's all gone in the bin, not even the recycle bin. You can't even...
What is he talking? All our efforts? You guys we spend years exposing your lies until even you admit that they're lies.
Right.
And as you're admitting that they're lies, Islam is crumbling from within to the point where you've got these sheikhs in Pakistan saying, do we need to bomb entire cities down to nothing to stop the spread of apostasy? That's in Pakistan. That's right. Sharia. That's the Sharia hellhole of the world. And they can't even control the apostasy rate there. And it's just getting started. And what's your response? Oh, he's intolerant. And he's got Andrew Tate. You see? That's why you's all scared. Hey, it's getting pretty desperate, isn't it?
Madness.
Like does Ali's followers even believe what he's saying at this point? I mean, do they even take it seriously? The chest thumping.
Yeah,
I think about that sometimes. I think about I'm wondering how they are. I mean, are they really sitting there and thinking, "Well, yeah, I agree completely, brother Ali Dawah, that makes so much sense." I mean, do his followers actually react like that, or do they think, "Oh, okay, I mean, I think you're exaggerating here a little bit," or do they just? But maybe they're not listening. Maybe they don't even pay attention to anything he says. They're just following and promoting him for no reason because he became popular at some point, and that's it.
They're probably just entertained at this point. It's entertainment, at this point. It's tough.
Yeah. So the comment here is Avery's channel, God Logic Apologetics. Yes, I added a link to the description box. Everyone should be subscribed to to God logic. All right,
Thank you.
let's see. We only have about another minute and a half of Ali Dawah here. Let's see how much more damage he can do.
Cycle it. It's gone to the waste like poo. It's
Wait.
gone.
What? What is what?
Our Lord. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when people are coming in multitudes to Islam, Alhamdulillah, we praise all your efforts that you did for 10 years. It's all gone in the bin, not even the recycle bin. You can't even recycle it. It's gone to the waste like poo. It's gone. Khalas.
Wait, all our efforts to show that the scientific argument was complete nonsense, and now you've agreed with us, and I would regard that as massive progress. It's all been pointless.
Yeah, that's a really huge point here. Like, let's think about what we're just saying. Years of apologetics and polemics against Islam, no Muslim listening to us until later on it's breaking down until the guys who are their face is now admitting what we have been saying for all these years.
Yeah, in other words, we were telling the truth. Their guys were lying. Ali Dawah just admits, hey, Christians and atheists were telling the truth about what the Quran actually says and about whether our argument is good or bad. Christians and atheists and Hindus were all telling the truth about how bad this argument is. Muslim da'is were lying. And now I'm admitting that we were lying the entire time and they were telling the truth. But this is such a, now you guys are going to die in your rage. What? I feel it's like my birthday right now, man. I feel like it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Where's my cake? Because it's my birthday right now. That's what I feel like. And he knows it. He knows how pathetic this is. Oh boy. All right, let's
I don't even understand the structure of this video. I don't even get it because it is titled "Does the Quran have scientific miracles?" Then he says, "I will repeat one more time that it is complete nonsense," and then he goes into the rest of the video. Most of the video is just, "And you Islamophobes and you ex-Muslims, you murtads, you are scared because people are what? This guy doesn't even know what he's doing."
By the way, you content creators who are watching, our Dawah is getting debunked, and we're proud of that. It's a good title for a YouTube video on this whole topic.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh boy. Hang on. Cedric here says, what will you guys do when everything else is debunked? AP said it might be 200 years from now. I don't know. The rate at which everything is crumbling, I don't think, I think another argument's going to go like a year from now. I think another one will go. And I think I don't think they recover from this ever. And I don't think it's going to take 200 years.
I said prior to this that I'm a prophet, and I say that Islam will be gone in 200 years. But I'm waiting right now. I'm on standby. That might be abrogated, and a new revelation might come. I will have to wait and check on that.
Peace be upon AP. Peace be upon you.
All right. Back to our good friend, the Dawah debunker himself, Ali Dawah.
People are flocking to Islam. So me saying the argument of science and miracles debunked, it is debunked. And guess what? We don't even need it.
We don't even need it.
Alhamdulillah.
We've got intolerance.
So an example and nasiyah to give to all of you guys, alhamdulillah, is very simple. You do not read into the Quran. We do not make that mistake by reading, and this verse means that. Now, is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness, we can say, wow, that is very...
we can say, wow. If you stick your hand down there deep enough and you can't see your hand anymore, alhamdulillah.
I don't understand. He comes with one of the worst arguments for scientific miracles, and thereby decides that the Quran doesn't have scientific miracles because it was obviously wrong. And from that, he goes to another one of the worst arguments ever, and says, "But it still has impressive things like."
And
that.
we could say, wow. We could say, wow. How could anyone have known something that anyone who's ever swam in his whole life could know? There's no way that anyone. Except anyone who's ever been swimming at any point ever, or who's ever met anyone who's been swimming at any point. There's no way to know that except for someone who's actually been in water. How could Muhammad have known that? That's actually what he said. Let me back up. So look, this video is so awesome. He starts off. Let me say it. in 73 different ways. This argument is stupid and it's been debunked. Zakir Naik was a liar. Ahmed Deedat was a liar. There was all liars. Them's all liars. I'm the one who's telling you the truth, yeah? Our new argument is how intolerant we's gonna be, yeah? We's gonna be the most intolerant people. We's gonna be just like the KKK and them guys that follow the dude with the little mustache. Was gonna be just like them. We're all gonna be like that. We're gonna be go take, top G, top G. That's gonna be how we's winning all these people around to our side. That's what we'll be doing, yeah? But yo, since I was on the topic of the scientific miracles, you do got some things like, oh, it gets dark in the water, yeah, and our mind is still blown by this. Our mind is blown, yeah, because this is why you unbelievers is running with your tail between the legs. You're scared of the amazing insight that I've already said is debunked, except this one maybe about the darkness in the deep water. Yeah, so in your face, you got schooled. This is who we're dealing with, right?
That is perfect.
Wow.
Let me back this thing up a little bit and
Perfect Dawah.
see what he said.
Wow.
Is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness?
Layers to the game.
That is very interesting because now
It's like tiramisu, you know? It got layers. Like tiramisu, we got the layers. See? How could Allah know about tiramisu? Tiramisu ain't even been invented yet, yeah? How is this possible? But yet, the 7 ozone layers, they's got the layers like the tiramisu. Oh my goodness. I'm going back. I got to believe in the miracles, yeah?
Tiramisu.
I'm sorry. I feel like we're gonna have to keep going back to this point and see. Let me back it up again and see what he's saying.
Yo.
Because I want to. We will actually, since this is apparently the only thing that you can be impressed by anymore in the Quran, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. All right.
Now, is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness? We can say, wow, that is very interesting because now recent discoveries do show that. So,
recent discoveries have shown that, yeah, as you swim down in the water, things get darker. Like you couldn't look in the water and say, hey, it looks dark down there. No one could do that unless you was by water or something or went for a swim. So how could this be known? NASA has just found this out today. You do know that Jacques Cousteau actually went down in the water and saw that it'd be dark down there, yeah? He found that it'd be dark down there. How is this possible? Oh my goodness. Is this a return? It's like he just said that it's all debunked and stupid, and now he brings it back at the end and ruins everything.
Wow. This is a
well, see,
lot.
totally you can't use it, but I'm saying to you,
Wait, he says totally you can't use it, but you can be impressed by it.
science as a yardstick, this is wrong. The Quran is our yardstick. We don't say because science changes. One day it says this, next day it says that. It's as simple as that. So that's the reason why we say there are certain things in the Quran which.
What's up?
I just have okay. If the Quran is the yardstick, fine. The Quran is the yardstick. So does that mean that there really are 7 heavens? Like, does that mean that the actual fact of the matter is that the earth really was created before there was ever space and heavens and the stars? Does that means that that's the actual matter of fact now?
You're being too logical. Right? He has never thought that through. You're being too logical.
Oh, I'm thinking too much. I should have just recited. My bad.
Yeah.
Stupid.
All right.
Okay.
How could a man know this? If it was from a man, not from God.
He's still on the darkness. How could a man know that it gets darker as you go down farther in the water?
I really want to ask him, how could a man have known what exactly? What exactly? Please tell me that. Please tell me what exactly. I remember going swimming and looking down as a mere human being and seeing that it gets darker and darker and darker and darker, and you can't see it. It looks very scary. So apparently Allah can do that too, and Muhammad can do that too, and that is a great miracle.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's see what he's got here.
She's like, how could a man know this? If it was from a man, not from God, who went to the depths of the ocean Yes, thousands of meters down to know that there's layers and layers of darkness.
Look, he's saying you have to go thousands and thousands of meters down. So, wait, thousands and thousands of meters down. So that's thousands and thousands. So you'd have to go at least 4,000 meters down into the water to realize that it gets darker as you go down. Wrong, Ali. Dive into the water and swim for a few seconds, and you'll see it gets darker and colder very quickly.
This is the power of Islam. The power you
This
are
is-
witnessing the power of Islam, the power, the miracle of Allah and the Quran. This is amazing, man. Look at that.
So Ali has demonstrated to his credit that he knows as much about the ocean as he does about the ozone layers. All the different ozone layers.
That is my point. So once again, for all my fans out there, the Islamophobes, the cowards, the little weasels, alhamdulillah, Islam is growing. Yes?
It's growing.
For those who, like Muhammad Hijab says, who are intellectually molested. Yes? It is debunked.
Hey,
And
did you see that? You've been intellectually molested. Have you noticed that they always talk about like some version of molested or this or that when they talk about what they're doing to people? Like their mind automatically goes there. And he's getting this from Captain Golden Showers himself, Muhammad Hijab, who introduced many people in our live streams to a lot of perverted stuff just because people had to look it up. They didn't know what he was talking about. He's the expert. Well, let's see.
yes?
Mohammed Hijab actually, he's so obsessed with that stuff that even when he was talking to me in the discussion to make a point about morals or something, that's the only thing he could go to. The example of a woman who is being brutally, I think, gang raped or something like that. And he was talking about that. They always have to go to something like this. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's just very strange.
It's always something perverted. That's where their minds instantly go when they're critiquing something. And these are the guys who, we only responded the best way. Yeah, really. All right. We're almost at the end here. So let's see what he wraps up with. He's saying how scared we all are and how we're all running.
We are terrified. Look at us.
Because you all been intellectually molested, yeah.
For those who, like Muhammad Hijab says, who are intellectually molested. Yes? It is debunked, and we don't need it.
We don't need it.
Alhamdulillah, Islam doesn't need anything.
We got intolerance.
People are flocking to Islam. Our Dawah videos, people are accepting Islam left, right, center. So die in your rage. That's all I wanted to say, alhamdulillah. And brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you guys, inshallah. Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
He's trying to provoke anger. He's trying to provoke a reaction here. He's trying to provoke anger here, and he actually thinks he's doing it. He actually thinks we'll be watching this, and we will be like, I don't know, how could this be? I'm outraged right now. Like that's what he thinks.
No.
You think so?
We need to respond and just be completely enraged because of that powerful whatever that was.
I'm so angry. Oh, I'm so mad.
Do y'all think that he really honestly when he sits down, he lays down at night, that he really believes what he's saying?
I don't see how.
Yeah, because it has to be it looks like a performance to me. Obviously, you got to save face, but I don't think that he believes what he's saying. Like that wouldn't be. I can't see that.
Well, there are two things. There is Al-Dawah often lies. He knows that he lies when he's called out.
Mm-hmm.
He just ignores you calling him out, and he continues lying. And that this is confirmed. This is a fact. I can demonstrate it on many occasions. He actually lies to people. But then, on the other hand, he's also firmly, deluded in believing that he is actually making great points and that he is completely destroying and humiliating us, and he actually believes that. And an intelligent person would not believe that, but he's not very intelligent, so he does believe that. So I do believe that he actually thinks he's completely making fantastic points here right now.
Wow, that's tough. Man.
I am loving these. I'm loving the points, but I mean, since for some reason he defended it not as a scientific miracle, but as something that should just shock and amaze Muslims. Let's go ahead and check out. Let's go ahead and check out. Let me get rid of that and get the screen up here. All right, here we got it. Here's the argument, ladies and gentlemen. We'll read verse 39 just for context. Pick a translation. We'll just start off with the Pickthall at the top. As for those who disbelieve, their deeds are as a mirage in the desert. Oh my goodness, no one could ever know about mirage in the desert. Yeah, how did Allah know this? It's so amazing. The thirsty one supposeth it to be water till he cometh unto it and findeth it not, and findeth in the place thereof Allah who payeth him his due, and Allah is swift at reckoning. So you got a bunch of translations. Oh no, hey, Avery, these translations say different things. They're different things in the English. I wonder what we're going to do now that there are all these differences in the English translation. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Islam is false.
Hey, Avery, it's about to get better. You ready for this?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Let's look at a couple translations of verse 40. So this is I guess he doesn't want to call it a scientific miracle anymore, just something you're supposed to be amazed at.
It is a wow. It is a
Here you go.
scientific wow. Yeah.
Here you go. Ready? Or, read the Pickthall again, right there. Or as darkness on a vast abysmal sea, there covereth him a wave, talking about the unbelievers and describing, their sinfulness and rebellion against God. There covereth him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud, layer upon layer of darkness. When he holdeth out his hand, he can scarce see it. Why? Because it's dark. And he for whom Allah hath not appointed light, for him there is no light. Now notice, Pickthall has, or as darkness on a vast abysmal sea. So this is like there's darkness on the surface of the deep. But we'll look at a couple more. Or the unbeliever's state is like the depths of darkness in a vast ocean, in a vast deep ocean. So there it looks like deep inside the ocean. But guess what? If one verse is saying it's darkness on a sea, and the other says it's darkness in a sea, Avery, you've got a contradiction in the translation of the Quran. So it doesn't matter keep in mind, according to Sheikh Uthman, doesn't matter what the Arabic is, It only matters that the English has a contradiction here.
English has the contradiction.
Yeah. Now you got it. So notice these, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Ali is saying is miraculous here. So Yusuf Ali, or the unbeliever state, is like the depths of darkness in a vast deep ocean, overwhelmed with billow, topped by dark clouds. So the fact that it says, let's go with darkness in the ocean, like depths of darkness in the ocean. Let's just see what the rest of them translate this as. Or is like the darkness in a vast deep sea. That's the Hilali Khan, Shakir. Or like utter darkness in the deep sea. Sher Ali, or their deeds are like thick layers of darkness spread over a vast and deep sea. So there it's on top. Khalifa, that of being in total darkness in the midst of a violent ocean. Arbery, or they are as shadows upon a sea obscured by a billow. Palmer, or like darkness on a deep sea. So they seem to be interpreting, they can't even agree on what's being said here. Yeah. They can't even agree on what's being said here. But let's go with the most generous version of this, which is what's supposed to be amazing. Darkness in a deep, dark sea. That's something that, according to Ali, has only been verified recently, and no one could have known that ever.
Correct.
Why aren't you guys converting right now?
AP is not letting me.
Aiden Waleed, how can anyone know this?
We are denying the truth.
Wow. Yeah, AP won't let me convert for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Is anyone actually legitimately impressed by something that here? Let me put it like this, ladies and gentlemen. You take 1,000 kids who've been swimming, 1,000 8-year-old kids who've been swimming in more than just a pool, because you can swim in a pool and not see that things get darker. If you've been in a lake or an ocean and you just swim down a few feet, you start seeing it get darker really quick like. Or if you're just in a boat and you're looking down, it's like, oh, I can't see what's at the bottom there because it gets dark real quick. Keep in mind, this was his number 2. This was his, okay, now that the 7 layers of the ozone has been debunked, now I still have to put this out about this powerful point, even though it's not a good argument. It's something that will blow your mind.
Yeah. It probably would have impressed me if all the English translations agreed on whether or not the darkness was on or in the sea. So I'm confused right now. My belief is being halted because of that.
Hey, wait a minute. Mrs. Apostate said onions have layers.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Hey, wait a minute. Scientists have recently confirmed that onions do in fact have layers. There's no way that anyone could have known that before now. That means it's a miracle. Wait a minute. It's not just the apostate prophet. She's a prophet too. So there are female prophets. Shocker. Wow, we're dealing with.
So the verse literally just says it compares the state of a disbeliever to a darkness in a sea. It is deep, covered by a wave, on top of it another wave, on top of it a cloud, darkness uh, on top of each other. When he puts out his hand, he can hardly see it. That's what it says. So like an ocean, like a water, there are waves upon it, upon which there are also waves, upon which there are clouds, which are dark, and he stretches his hand out and he can barely see his hand. Now, I don't even know what to say.
What you got a problem
I
with
don't
that?
even know what to say.
You can't even refute that. See, Allah he has you so confounded, you can't even refute it. You know, you're just laughing nervously. You can't even
This
refute
is
it.
amazing. This is amazing. I don't know what I have been doing this whole
Oh,
all these this whole decade, all of these years. Why have I been trying to refute Islam so much when it is so clear from this verse that it comes directly from Allah? Because who could have known this?
oh,
Wow, wow.
guys,
And
I've been looking for a
this is the
reason.
champion of Dawah right there.
I've been looking for a reason to take my shahada for over a year now. You guys can ask Chris Claus, ask the people in the chat. I've been looking for a reason. Now I think it's been shattered. Like it's tough. I was really leaning on the scientific miracles, guys. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
There is one more massive, and possibly, I mean, apart from him acknowledging yet again that the scientific argument has been debunked and it's garbage, and then him trying to throw his followers a bone who are thinking, oh, but the science is so impressive, and he tries to give an example. Oh yeah, there are things you should be impressed about, and it's something that anyone who's ever been swimming could have told you. Apart from that, and I mean possibly a more important point. Did you guys caught it? He said that the new case for Islam, the real reason people are going to be converting, is because of Islam's intolerance and willingness to kill people who get out of line. He said that, right? Did you guys catch that?
And we're proud of that. I'll say it again, and we're proud of that.
Now, guys, the question that we would want to ask Ali Dawah, keep in mind, he said that. He said they're proud of the capital punishments. Anyone who's at Speaker's Corner walking up to Ali Dawah, please go up and ask him about various groups and what's going to happen to them under Sharia if they seize control, right? So, hey, Ali Dawah, you've acknowledged that if you guys are able to establish an Islamic state, people like AP are going to be executed. You said you're proud of that, right? Yeah, we're proud that that was going to kill them, yeah. Okay. What about critics of Islam, people who make fun of Muhammad? What's going to happen to them? Keep in mind, you're proud of it. You're not going to hide it because you're proud of it, right? Oh, yeah, we're going to do it to them too. Okay. What about gay people? What are you going to do to gay people in an Islamic state? People who are, I mean, let's say they're openly gay. What are you going to do to them? And keep in mind, you're proud of the death penalty. So explain to us what you're going to do. What are you going to do to trans people? What are you going to do to, and just go down the list. Yeah.
Go there, especially go to the
have a list, have a checklist,
that stuff, so that all of those people around the world who have been defending these Muslim apologists so far and who have been making sure that we cannot criticize them and they can always be excused, so that they too hear some really, really bad truth that they need to hear. So that stuff should be brought up.
And by the way, guys, do you see the mistake? I mean, keep in mind, not everyone necessarily is going to go with Ali Dawah down this road. But with Andrew Tate and Sneeko all saying, Islam is so red pill, this is the only thing that's going to save everyone from the far left and LGBTQ stuff and so on. They're going down that road. This is what I was talking about when I said this is like the biggest tactical blunder in the history of tactical blunders.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about all the morons who invaded Russia in the winter. You giant morons. That's nothing compared to what Ali Dawah wants to do right now. Which, guys, every Muslim in the world, please follow what he just said right here. Please, I'm begging you to take what he just said seriously.
Yes.
Do you guys understand how bad this is? Because I think like
Break it down for me, because
Maybe you should explain it. You should explain
yeah,
it, David.
yeah.
break,
Well,
break it
okay.
down.
So here, 4 years. Even when you had terrorist attacks, even when you had 9/11, even when you had the 7/7 bombings and so on, all the killing people with trucks, the Charlie Hebdo massacres, all that stuff. Every single time you had something like that, we would try to show people why that was happening. We would say, hey, look, we can show you in Islam's most trusted sources why this thing that we all agree is horrible and bad is actually commanded by this religion.
Mhm.
And without fail, what happened? Politicians, journalists, the education system, Hollywood, they all came down. Anyone who has a problem with this is Islamophobe. Anyone who says that this has something to do with Islam, anyone who says that is a racist, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigot.
Yeah.
And anyone with power would silence anyone who's doing that, right? Anyone with power would silence the people who are doing this. I got banned over and over and over again until I gave up on Facebook just for pointing out. I would post things like, "Hey, here's a screenshot of a guy who just threatened to kill me," and they would ban me for pointing out that I got threatened, that a guy was threatening me, right? Because they didn't want people to get mad that this Muslim was threatening a Christian, threatening to kill a Christian. So they kept doing that until I just say, fine with that. All the bans I've had over the years, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, it's all you criticized Muhammad, and so we have to ban you for this.
Mhm.
So you had, again, politicians, the media as a whole, the education system as a whole. Get your child's textbook, read, if they have a world history book, read what it says about Christianity and read what it says about Islam. You're in for quite a surprise on the kid gloves and how much they praise Islam, right? This has been going on for a long, long time. In other words, when people are trying to put out perfectly valid criticisms of Islam based on the impact it's been having on the world, we are shouted down and marginalized by people who are on the far political left, who nevertheless have wield lots of power in the media and in politics and in Hollywood and with the education system and social media. And they're able to silence people who are criticizing Muhammad.
Yeah.
I have to say, that is a very nice position to be in. In fact, when I would get banned on YouTube, they would say, you have criticized a protected group.
Yeah.
Wait, Muslims are a protected group? Are Christians a protected group? Christians on a global scale, Christians are persecuted far more than Muslims. But you can say anything you want about Christian, and yet I'm like, what? I didn't call for violence or anything like that. I just said why they're wrong. And nope, that's enough. This is a protected group. You have to get banned for that, right? That happens over and over again. So anyway, long story short, Islam, Muhammad, and the Quran have been shielded from criticism, and not just that, but the supporters of like mass Islamic immigration and so on to Western countries. Those have tended to be people on one side of the political spectrum who were hoping that by this mass immigration, they would get future voters who are going to be loyal to their causes and so on. And now, in spite of having all of this protection for all of these years, you're talking decades of protection from people on the far left that are protecting Muhammad and the Quran from criticism, in spite of all of that years of undying loyalty, no matter how many terrorist attacks. I mean, terrorists were actually walking into gay clubs and gunning people down. Who would rush to the defense of Islam every single time? Politicians, journalists, educators, entertainers, and social media CEOs every single time. And now Muslims are saying, actually, we're changing sides on everything. And what we're going to do, we're going to show you how intolerant we are. And we're just going to execute everybody on your side, on your side. As soon as we get power, we're going to execute you all. And they're announcing it. and they're siding with Andrew Tate, who's against all the wokeism and so on. So
Yeah, yeah.
what? So again, it doesn't mean so far that all Muslims are going to agree with this. But if you get enough people who say, yeah, Andrew Tate and Sneeko and Ali Dawah are right, we need to go down that road. What happens if you lose that protection? What happens if all the people who've been protecting and shielding your prophet and your book from criticism suddenly view you as a threat and an enemy?
Yeah. Wow.
What happens? What happens if now we can freely, openly expose Muhammad on on prime time news?
Yeah, yeah.
What happens when I can say when I can blast your prophet and your book all over social media, and the CEOs are loving it because they view you as an enemy? What happens when the education system starts teaching accurately about Muhammad and the Quran and their impact in 1400 years of jihad because they are sick to death of what you're doing? What happens when Hollywood says, let's make an accurate film about the history of Islam and what really happened? What happens in those situations? You guys just traded it for Sneeko. You just traded. You had the sweetest deal of anyone in history. You had the greatest dream deal of every ideology in history. You are protected by everyone who has any degree of power. And now you're throwing it all away because we're going to go with Andrew Tate. He's the top G, yeah? And you don't realize how insanely stupid you are. All you had to do was wave your little pride flag and pretend a little longer. That's all you had to do is wave that little pride flag and say, yeah, we're all on the same page. Wink, wink. We're not going to slaughter you all as soon as we get in power. Wink, wink. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. Instead, you got to go there. Oh, no, top G. Good luck with that, guys. If that alliance breaks down, you think you got an avalanche of apostasy now?
Wow, yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're destroying it. These low hikmah da'is are doing. You pointed out we couldn't have dreamed of breaking down this alliance, and they're doing it for us.
Normally, I would think, David, that you shouldn't be, spelling all of this out and saying all of this because you could be telling them that they're basically making a mistake. But in the case of Ali Dawah, he's probably watching this and he's like, "Oh, look, they're so mad! They're so mad, dying in your rage. They're just pretending.
They're dying in their rage. Oh, look, David's having a heart attack in his rage. No, I'm dying of laughter, Ali. Are you really trying to get us to die of laughter? Because you got a better chance of that, bud, bro."
So keep going, Ali Dawah. Keep going. It's fantastic. You're doing a great job.
Go, Ali. Go, Ali. Go. Go, Ali. Go, Ali. Go.
This is really no different. It's no different from years ago when you said we're just going to watch the apologists who come out, the people like Muhammad Hijab and characters like this who take the forefront and start destroying Islam from the inside. You said this and you said we got to watch. I say this a lot. I always bring this up because peace be upon you, O Prophet David Wood. You said this before and they still did it. It didn't matter that you said it publicly. Yeah. It still happened. So saying it here is not good. It's still Ali Dawah. It's still Muhammad Hijab. It's still Andrew Tate. They're still going to be them regardless. And we're just going to watch it all happen. What you just did, that take is crazy. That's a crazy take.
That is true. That is true. David has been saying that for a very long time now, and it is exactly playing out as you said it. So I am a prophet, but I have to give you that one. Yeah.
The real masker said, "Allah's the best of divers." He's the best of divers.
Oh boy.
All right. So anyway,
the internet is crazy.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, you guys, you know it's weird. It's like for the first 10 years of doing stuff, I tried to keep my plotting inside my own head. Like, I don't want to know what I'm plotting, that I'm going to get them to admit all this stuff over many years of time. I realize I've said before, it was actually watching Jordan Peterson at one point when he was going somewhere to speak, and he said, "Oh, when I get there, they're going to shout me down, but I'm just going to keep talking, and they're going to keep screaming, and they're going to try everything to get it to shout me down." And I was like, "Well, they're not going to do that now because you said it, you announced it ahead of time as you're going in, and you announced it all over the news and so on that's what they're going to do when you get there. They can't do it now. They got to do something different." They do it exactly what he said. And I saw other people, they're saying, hey, when I get here, this is what they're going to do. And they always do exactly what the person said. And I was like, once you get conditioned to a certain point and you have no plan B and you have nowhere else to go, you're going to do that. And you can announce it a million times ahead of time and say exactly what they're going to do. And they have no choice because they have no plan B. So now that the arguments are collapsing, now that all these arguments are collapsing, what do they got? All they've got left is the top G route. Try to impress everyone with your intolerance. Ali Dawah says, that's what we're going to do. We're going to show that we're intolerant, so we're going to kill everybody. And yet that will impress some people. That will impress some teenagers who are worried about things and not sure where everything's going, and they're going to sign on. If you're willing to trade that for this unparalleled degree of protection that you've had for decades, please make that deal, Ali. Please make that deal.
Fantastic. Ali Dawah, please let us know where we can support you for your great work. And please keep going. Please continue. I'm very proud of you, and I will be watching.
Yeah, amen. Amen to that, AP. Listen, shout out to you, Ali Dawah. I'm gonna, give you just another shout out on my channel, bro. I'm gonna say a prayer for you tonight, and when I wake up, So man, we're pushing for you, bro. We're pushing for you. Do not give up. Don't let none of those Islamophobes tell you any different. Keep
We are with
going.
you. Yeah, we are with you.
And Ali, under no circumstances should you ever listen to anyone who has even a single drop of hikmah. Ever. Do not listen to Sajid when he tells you how moronic you are being right now. Do not listen to Sajid. Sajid's going to say, you keep saying stupid stuff, and Sajid keeps pointing out. Just have your followers shout him down and say that he's jealous because of the tremendous impact you're having. Only listen to the people who are cheering you and praising you no matter what you do. Only listen to the complete, undying yes men that you have around you. Only listen to them. You'll never be steered wrong. Just keep that up for us, Ali. We love you.
We do.
We love
All right.
you, Ali.
All right. Final thoughts, anyone? Any final thoughts before we close out? We got through all that. AP, anything else?
No, I mean, I basically said what I think about Ali Dawah. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He should keep going. I know he's watching this probably later or now and thinking, hey, they're actually dying inside. But no, we're not. Okay, maybe I get it. I grant it. Maybe we are actually outraged and we are dying inside. You just believe that and you continue what you're doing because so far you're doing a fantastic job, Ali Dawah. Yes, trust Sneeko, trust Andrew Tate. They are your new heroes, your new rescue for Islam, and do exactly what you're doing. Tell everybody what Islam really says. I have done it. David has done it, but nobody believes us. So now it's your turn. Go ahead. You're doing it very, very well. Thank you.
That's right.
Avery, what do you got coming up, man? What do you got coming up? What are people what are people going to find on your channel, and what are you going to be working on here in the near future?
For sure. So so for the people that's asking, my channel is God Logic Apologetics. I was just at a Pride festival yesterday, so I have a lot of footage that's going to post with my interactions with there. There was a lot of affirming churches with their tents there. So I had a lot of discussions with these so-called priests and pastors who were there supporting Pride and stuff like that. So you guys will see that footage. Also, but most immediately, I have to get working on this video that I just had with Sheikh Uthman and Sneeko. That's going to be uploaded within the next day or so. I'm going to work on it right now. So stay tuned. If you guys want to see that conversation, hit that subscribe button at God Logic Apologetics, man.
And it seems like every encounter you have with Sheikh Uthman, he lies about something, and then the lie gets exposed later. And so all the Christians, the atheists, Hindus, everyone sees the lie exposed later, and they go, look at this liar. But his followers seem to be of the mentality of, if you lie right there and you get away with it, even for that moment, it's good, and we worship you as our new hero. It really seems like that. It's like, as long as you get away with the lie for a few days, you're good to go, and no one's ever going to hold you to account. And then when these guys go off the rails and fake hate crimes against themselves or take out entire arguments, guys, they were already narcissists. You programmed them to believe that they could get away with anything, and now you're reaping the rewards of what you've done with your da'is, and we are loving it. All right, so everyone, be sure to follow. Be sure to follow Avery. Link is in the description box, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Stay away from Islam.
Peace.